Oi, oi. Hi guys, good to see you today. Welcome back to the martinliedtke channel. Today, we're going to talk about advanced technologies in the medieval period, because the battles of the medieval period, what they tell us in official history, doesn't make any sense. And I will explain that to you now. But there is evidence, and I'll put it all together. Absolutely fantastic pictures in this post of evidence of advanced electromagnetic fasces type technologies being used on the medieval battlefield and before in antiquity. So that's what I'm going to do today. So we'll start here, the medieval battlefield, knights in armor. They don't make any sense. Now what you got here is this knight on an armored horse. Now, are you aware that he would need some sort of hoist to get him on that horse, some sort of crane, or at least help off of a couple of people to get him on that? And also, this knight would need help from a couple of people to actually get the armor on in the first place. If you fall off the horse, you very possibly will die, because you will be embedded in the mud of the medieval battlefield and you will not get up again. It makes no sense. Check this. Look at the saw blades on the side of this. Can you imagine that going? It's like somewhere between Robot Wars and the Battle of Agincourt. But what you see with these knights in armor is it's not actually practical for the weaponry that they're telling us. So this is maces and bows and arrows and swords, which don't really do much to these armor. You could just go, He's like, oh, that tickles. If you fall over in the mud of, say, the Battle of Cresby or the Battle of Agincourt, your nose, because it is so pronounced, will be stuck in the mud and you will die in the mud. That must have happened, like, if it was that way, like all of them. It makes no sense. And visibility is nearly impossible. When you're in a medieval battlefield, look at this. Imagine your nose stuck in the mud. You're like, help, help, help. No one's coming to help. This looks really advanced. This looks like somewhere in between RoboCop and, I don't know, Bluto the dog, maybe. But imagine that you're on the medieval battlefield, right? There is arrows, there's blood, there's guts, there's everything, right? And you got this tiny little slit to look through. Yeah, you'd be dead. It just makes no sense. And this technology of armor was carried over into the First World War. You can see this on a flamethrower's suit from the First World War. Pretty carnage. But the decoration, we're going to go through some of these examples, make no sense. I don't think they were wearing these. These have to be ceremonial, haven't they? You see a lot of old films where you see the Tartarian houses, like the Addams Family, for example. And then you got the knight that is on the stairs or something. In some horror films, the knight comes to life. So I have proposed, were some knights actually robots? How would you know? They're made of metal. You don't get to see their face. You don't get to see what's inside the grill. Could that be the case, that these are automatons? I put this idea forward in the past. So yeah, I don't think you were on the battlefield with this. This looks too decorated. Oh yeah, note the Baphomet or the devils on there, and it's a lot of Phoenician decoration with all of the knight's armor. It's just craziness. With the lions, and you see all of the Phoenician decoration. That wouldn't do much good on the medieval battlefield. No, look at this one. So you can't see anything hardly through the slit. You'd be like, is he coming at me? I can't quite. Well, anyway, so yeah, you got a saw blade. So there would have been some sort of motorized system for driving that round, no doubt. And this is so you can breathe. But if you do fall over, you're dead. Unless you've got somebody to help you out. So this is in a museum, exhibit of armor, and you can see that apparently ladies wore armor too, down to the floor to protect themselves. Are they on the medieval battlefield? Swordy, swordy, stabby, stabby? No, but they're still wearing armor. Why is that? Well, I think chainmail and armor are protection from electromagnetic radiation. And I think that when you're on the medieval battlefield, it's got a medieval knight's skirt on there. When you're on the medieval battlefield, the king, let's just imagine the Battle of Agincourt, right? So there's Henry, okay, and he's like, once more into the breach, dear friends, brothers in arms. And they're like, yeah, not really feeling it this time, actually, Henry. I think we've got something else to do. But they didn't, and they won. Superior forces using electromagnetic technologies and not the longbow. He says, the king, charge. Charge what? Charge your weapons. And then, if you're in the army, they say you're discharged because you have the charge taken off your weaponry, like the bullets taken out. What about batteries? Why do they have batteries? Batteries are batteries, aren't they? All links in to electromagnetic technologies. You can see contemporary films. You're in some superhero film. This guy is showing you that he has electromagnetic whips. You see a lot of them, and electromagnetic swords, which we see a lot. Now, I did propose that they could have been some sort of automatons, and you can see some examples in armor where there's like space inside, and these things here, like some sort of, there could have been motors inside. That would make more sense. They got drones in the modern day, haven't they? Imagine this on your arm. So we're going to talk about shields in a little bit, but can you imagine this spinning around at high speed? Yeah, the damage it would do. That's much more like it. And it is somewhere between robot wars. Look at these things here. Zzz, zzz. So if you can imagine a taser, but amped up, it's like a really big phaser or taser. But yeah, definitely an electromagnetic bolt, I would think, that come out of these things. I'll give you examples of that in a moment. Wow. So yeah, I definitely think there's more going on with medieval weaponry. I'll show you some examples of the Nuremberger. This is in the 1600s, where they show you electric swords, which I first posted about maybe 10 years ago now. Time has moved on. Cutlasses. Cutlasses look like TV aerials. They doing something along those lines. I'll show you examples of the hilts of swords, and there's definitely more going on in the hilts as well. So I think the swords of old. Look at this for a samurai. Would you go on the battlefield with all of that? You'd stand out like a sore thumb, wouldn't you? You'd be like literally a target. But they're feathers, ethers. They interact with the ether. These are a technology. And all of the rest is to protect you from electromagnetics on the battlefield. Now, if you Google, I'm going actually on eBay, you can buy chainmail in the modern day that says it protects you from electromagnetic radiation. Go and take a look. But you can see that they are actually covered under a lot of the armor with chainmail. This one's just mostly chainmail, gauntlets, etc., which coincidentally protect you from electromagnetics. Go figure. So yeah, some of the examples of Japanese samurai helmets look like they are members of the band Hail Lung. They're definitely doing something with the ether with the horns, but all of the ear pieces as well that you see on the ears, you'll see them on medieval pictures and paintings as well. I think that there's some sort of communicator where they're, you know, real time on the battlefield, giving you instructions, just like you got in the modern day, fitted into these helmets. I think that's what's happening in a lot of cases. But some of these helmets, it just makes no sense on the battlefield. They're just not practical. It makes you stand out. You can't see anything. Look at this knight. What exactly is he going to do on the battlefield? Well, I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to stumble around and fall over and die, because you can't do anything with no vision. You need to have to see what you're doing. So yeah, it has to be ceremonial. You imagine if you got a sword and you go, ah, ooh, just hits that, ah, ooh, hits that. In their dreams, So if you've got a Honzo sword, the top of his body would just come off, steel and all. So that's not actually practical. I'm just saying. They probably know about Honzo swords, but look at this F-ether. Protection for the ears, maybe. Or if you have a look closer, there's something on the ear here. I think that they are literally listening to instructions. Let's check this Phoenician out. It was buried and chained. He's got a mollusk or something on his chest, a seashell there. Let's have a look closer at this. Wow. I definitely think that would be able to breathe underwater, a bit like NASA. But maybe knights could breathe underwater. I've showed evidence of that as well. So yeah, the helmets are fully Phoenician, as you can see. Wow. These people are spooky. I don't like the look of them. I noticed them first when I was a teenager on an old church in Cardiff, and I thought, they're looking at me. I'm not sure I like them. There they are again. So we're going to look into shields. Now, I don't think shields are just for blocking arrows, okay? I think they literally shield from electromagnetics in the form of a force field, like a shield, like they say. And you can see examples as well in antiquity. Look at the way they just stand there on the armor, holding a shield out with a big nose on it, and also holding a shield out with a face on it. Also on the back of the armor here, you can see fire and flames, like plasma, which you see a lot on the shields. We're going to show you that in a minute. Me. Baphomet type green man, Bacchusite type demons with horns. So if you've got evil armor, does that make you harder? I don't think so. That makes no sense. It's not practical. Practical? No. No, you can't see a thing. Oh, your suit looks beautiful. Oh, does it? Oh, I really can't see my armor because I can't see anything because I'm in pitch black in here. I can see a little slit. Gauntlets, they would be really hard to fight with, but they would really protect your hands from any electromagnetics on the battlefield, which I think was going on. And then otherwise you'd end up like that. Dust. So yeah, shields. Definitely think something's going on with shields. In a moment, I'm going to show you lance, because today my name is Martin Lancelot, and I'm going to show you some evidence of the firing, or the thundering, excuse me, staff. We're going to look into staffs, shields, swords, and armor, all in this post. Really. So you see this configuration with the grilled, meshed look on a lot of the old classical, like what they say a Roman or architecture of the faceless knight. You see this grilled affair on statues all over the world. And, you know, it just gives me a sense of it being a robot, actually, rather than a human. But maybe there's something else going on, which I will suggest in a minute. But this makes no sense on the battlefield. Look at all of this headwear. Wouldn't it just snap your neck? Just silly. Again, with the evil deities, or whatever they are, the Phoenicians, the green mans, the Bacchuses, and the horn of plenties. So it's fully Phoenician armor, isn't it? Look at that. It's got half a goat man. So yeah, the Romans, they show you had armor and all the classical era. And these, you know, to protect your elbows. Well, in case somebody like hits you on the inside of your arms. It just doesn't even, none of it makes any sense. It's ridiculous. Mobility would be restricted. Falling over would be lethal. And then they're really weighty. You need to help on your horse. And expensive, I gather, as well, for armor. Because you would have had to have it privately crafted to fit you. You just can't buy standard armor because it won't fit. So there's a wow, look at that one. The effort gone into it. The Medusa touch. So I think you see a lot of Medusas on shields, okay? And if you think about the narrative of Theseus with the Gorgon, he's got a shield because you can't look at her, and he looks her in the reflection, and he's able to kill her and chop her head off, all right? So I'm thinking that, you know, isn't it weird how many shields you see with the Gorgon on? Wings open, serpent is electromagnetics, wings open, active charge. And this is the Medusa. This is what will turn people into statues. This is where the statues arrive from. Okay, they live in eternal. All right, they're in them statues. And Lot's wife, for example, when Sodom was destroyed, don't look back. She looks back, and that technology, that plasma tech, turns it into a pillar of salt. Dust, also. So yeah, you would not wear that. It's just people who would giggle if somebody walked on the they're all in like camouflage, and then the boss comes in and he's got this on. You'd be like, he's so fat. So is that scary on the battlefield? Because it looks like Donald Duck, doesn't it? A lot of people look like this at the moment, especially first thing in the morning. Can I have a scratch card and half a bottle of vodka? I'm doing really well lately. I've hardly drunk anything this week. Aye. Can I have some sweets, ma'am? No, I haven't got any money. Look at this. Wow. So yeah, the hilts of swords are definitely a clue. I got some x-rays to show you. There's definitely more going on with the configuration for, you know, this is more than hand protection. As you can see, there's a lot going on. It looks like something might plug in here even. Looks like one of these bleed nipples that you see. In fact, they all do. So I definitely think something's going on with the swords, and there's the evidence. There's more going on. Wow. Would you really wear that? I'd be like, wow, he looks scary, doesn't he? I'd be like, no, he looks like a donut. And that made me giggle. It's like, oh man, they look so scary. We should run. It's like, no, we shouldn't run. They can't even see us. Just go and get them. See my point? So yeah, I'll show you some swords and some hilts in a minute. I definitely think they're electromagnetic. There. X-rays of sword hilts. Now you can see that there's definitely something going on inside them, just like you get with the spear of destiny. Many different things fitting in there. They could have reliquary maybe fitted in there for a bit of spooky in. But definitely think along the lines of Taurus field technologies, electromagnetics, which is what's going on, I think, with all of the medieval weaponry. You know, the curling to drive the chi energy, all of it is Taurusy, want for a better word. Yeah, right. So Henry VIII had a jousting accident. Apparently, this is Henry's literal helmet that he wore. It's a bit of a drag factor on there. Maybe they should practice aerodynamics. And apparently a lance hit him in the eye and messed up his day and messed up his life, because then after that, he's like, he wasn't very sporty and he got overweight, and then married loads and loads of women, apparently, because he had nothing else to do. But that is the story that they give us for the lance, which I think there's something else definitely going on that I'll show you now. The worm that turned, you get the same shields in the background in these configurations. And the knight is the faceless knight. We see him all over antiquities on the cover of my first book, The Holy Grail of a Flat Earth, and the worm inside. Now, it could be a cable that's been chopped that just looks like the face of an animal or a worm. But it does, it's got an eye, little nose, little mouth, and it looks to be asleep. Could that be what's going on inside knight's armor, an invasion, so to speak? So yeah, it'd be nice to wear that in the modern day. If you see anybody walking around like that, I'd be like, yeah, flat thumbs. You're totally solid. You've got protection from all of that nasty ass radiation that is permeating and frequencies. So yeah, that's what they were selling in the past for everybody, was armor and chainmail. Chainmail, as you can see here, is a really good blocker of electromagnetic radiation. Here you can see him, this person messing around with plasma and a Tesla coil. So massive amounts of electricity passing through. Nobody is getting fried because she's shielded by her own or his own personal Faraday cage. Here's 2 Tesla coils. You could stand between there, no problem, with chainmail, and mess around with massive amounts of electricity, purple plasma here. And you can see the experiment that was carried out by Tesla. He's completely surrounded in a Faraday cage, as you can see, this high, which protects him. So he can sit with this, which was apparently the biggest electrical charge ever generated in antiquity, which was 12.5 million volts, I think it was, out of this device. But he could sit there completely safe, nobody frying. Now, this is how I see the medieval battlefield, full of lightning and full of blasts, electro blasts. Electro tank shoots lightning rays. This is more contemporary, more modern, but they're still saying that they were thinking about shooting lightning rays. So there's the Nuremberger. This was in late 1600s. They had some sort of kingly fate and all entertainment with fireworks. You can see Catherine wheels, and these two guys doing entertaining with their lightning swords. They look to have some sort of protection on as well. So lightning swords, and this is how I imagine the knights for real. More along them lines, because the ones that they're telling us about, the medieval knight, honestly makes no sense. The Knight of Swords of the tarot card, you can see here, there's a few knights on the tarot cards. But how many knights? We've got the Knights Templar, the Knights of Malta, geez. The Knights Crusaders. There's just so many different knights, aren't there? Brotherhoods, they call them, don't they? Flat Earth British, exclusive, higher consciousness member. There's me. Warrior for truth. Indeed, indeed. So yeah, I definitely think that's going on in the past with electric plasma tech. Right, let's move on. Lance. Now, I got some of these pictures of wonderful Victor back, I don't know, 8 years ago or something, and a really interesting clip from an old book that tells you what was really going on. Okay, so as well as scepters, you see the Queen with, I think they're harping back to advanced technologies, and the orb or the holy hand grenade as well, some sort of weapon. So yeah, inside there is a lot more going on in the old lance. It is along the lines of fasces technologies, but rods bundled together, bound to create a charge. In this case, got a labrise in the end. And as you can see, it's very fasces-esque on its design. Here are some other sword hilts. Which have the handles all gone in the modern day, but still a lot more going on, I think. So yeah, along the lines, you could have had some sort of plasma blast coming out there, electrical bolts, or just a big sound wave, which would just flatten everything. That's what I think. Like this is what you can see with the lance on this old picture. Zzz, zzz. Plasma is what was going on, I think. Here's another clue. And this is what looks like maybe Indian, but he's got this spear, double-headed spear, and it's all around his head, and he's holding it either side. All of these weapons that you see, even in ancient Mesopotamia, the Assyrians, all of them actually all show you some sort of electromagnetic technology. So yeah, this is the instrument, the thundering staff. This instrument is also extremely suitable for foot soldiery, and it's from the effect at once terrible and rapid. It is called the thundering staff. Most people, however, call it by different names on account of its size and being variable. But its nature always the same. It's the box pistol, musket box, carabine, or box dragon. The second is a certain new sort of spear, by which any foot soldier, besides his own duty, can fill the purpose of 5 or 6 musketeers. This instrument may be called the shooting spear. That's what's going on with lances. In the vulgar tongue, the picaqualibus. The third is a machine made, as it were, of musket barrels fastened together. Sounds like a fasces. So musket barrels put together, and it is considered to be able to fill the place of 100 musketeers. So this weapon is more powerful than 100 muskets, 100 rifles, okay, or muskets. This machine is called the lightning chariot. In vulgar tongue, the fiery wagon. Interesting. And then you can see these sort of fasces configurations you see on these lances. Do you see what I mean? It's like a mini fasces bundled together. Well, that's what it is. They just tell you. Puts a whole new, makes more sense slant on the battlefields of the medieval period, doesn't it, guys? Because the other, like what they're saying with these cartoons, makes no sense. Here's the Red Knight with all his feathers. He rushes in for a quick joust with the other leader, and well, he's hit him in the groin and he snapped his stick. Makes no sense. A grave, a famous lancer or jouster, couple there, and you can see this crossing a helmet and a shield, which they always do on the configurations, the Phoenician configurations. We've been seeing these for so many years. And these things here, these maces, you can see these maces appear to be sparking. You see that? Which is what I think is going on. On the battlefield itself, lots of feathers. Feathers seem to be, he's got a fasces on the shield here. And these are carrying some sort of long implement. He's got a thing with a ball on it. See, I don't think melee weapons were the favored weapon of the battlefield. Look at this. Yeah, he's got a lance. He's got a shield, wings open. Why would you have the shield like that? It's not practical. Something hit it, a bit shot off and stuck in my arm, sire. It makes no sense, guys. Covered in chainmail. We'll have a look at some beautiful shields in a minute. You may be surprised by some of them. I've got loads of images like this of jousters and knights attacking one another, and what you get is a blast rather than just spray bits of wood. Definitely think there's something going on with that one. It's got a labrise, or is it a handle? Twisting like that. Look, lance over the shoulder with this guy because he knows it packs a punch. Yo. Though I walk through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil, because I will have my staff beside me. My staff, my thundering staff that will blast the living daylights out of you if you come at me. So there's that. So these are the handles, some of these medieval lances. Where you lance a lot, which is a tech. There's other examples of lances, no two the same. And they're bound, they're rods put together. This is just along the same lines of the fasces. And inside this, they look like batteries, galvanic batteries or something. It's definitely some sort of trigger mechanism. And there's a bleed here or something that you can put something in there, like some sort of substance, maybe oil. Maybe there are batteries in them. That's why they're called batteries, guys. Yeah? Where'd you get batteries? On the battlefield. Battery pack. So this one's spring-loaded, so it would have a projectile end, maybe, or it's definitely jettisoned something, isn't it, out of the end? Look. So a lance isn't a lance, and you've learned it here today on Flat Earth British. A lance is a more technological form of weaponry. I don't know what is in what you were pumping D or G, but this lance definitely has stuff pumped into it. Interesting. Let's move on. Shields. show you some of these shields, and then we'll move on to some examples of medieval battlefields, and then that'll be it for today. And I got another video to make later where I'm doing a review on a rifle machine. So stick around by the end of the week and I'll show you that. So some of these shields are absolutely beautiful. I'm beginning to think that the Phoenician plaque that we talk about, the empty plaque, is actually a shield. And you can see the fascist. Well, that's where the fascists come from. The fasces and the libris and a lion. But yeah, that's where fascists come from, is the fasces. Check this shield. Gorgon again at the top. Oh no, this one's got like 2 curly horns. The effort. And then it shows you, you know, and it's, you know, there's the Baphomet, like a devil. They show you like all like terrible happenings on, and you wouldn't battle naked. That's just stupid. And I'm going to show you how many of these, right, I've got like literal examples of electromagnetics on the shields. This one, this configuration, you've got the fasces, libris, and then on the shield, you have lightning. And you see this on the Roman shields too. This is a Roman shield. So you have a center point, lightning coming out, plasma burst, go figure, on the Roman ones. These are the configurations that I talk about, properly evil. Look at that in there. They cross the swords. They put in a fasces. Look at this fasces. Wow. And the flaming sword, which you hear about in the Bible as well. Flamey sword. Angels have them as well. Zeus has a lightning rod with an implement like a Vajra with lightning coming out of it. Again, Zeus as well has got electromagnetics. Skull and crossbones, yeah. Also, electromagnetic technology is used in Norse mythology as well, as I'm sure you know. There's the Gorgon shield. Wow. Beautiful pieces of art. There's no doubt about that. Okay, move on. So yeah, this has a feeling of the Norse, doesn't it? Triskelions and just swirlies and ooh. So do you think that they could harness a charge and protect you more electromagnetically, or is it for just, even with all of that design, it's just for blocking arrows and swords? Do you think? Look at that. And look at that mace. Do you think there's a charge that comes out of that? Because I do. Look at that beautiful shield. Wow. You won't want to get a dent in that. It'll right cheese you off. This shield's got double fasces. I think a ship in the middle. And also a trident, which is a tuning fork, which is also for the Naval Academy. Double fasces for the Naval Academy. Shield. Definitely more going on with that. Heraldries are shields as well, as you know, for royal households. But at least Phoenician plaques, this one has information. I'm starting to think that they are shields. Did think that they were mirrors. So that's all you see on the shields is these weird Phoenician faces. Why would you do that? So yeah, beautiful examples of shields. This is a codpiece covering. You would wear this to cover your crown jewels on the battlefield. There's even a little pee hole there. That's nice, isn't it? Just like astronauts do with their spacesuits. No, they don't. They have nappies. The Halifax Building Society. Ugh. Heraldries and shields. Oh, there, shield. Eagle, wings open. And it's even got a fleur-de-lis on it. It's got plasma. It's the Phoenix, wings open, plasma blast. So my first book I included information on the Phoenix back in the day. And page 122. Page 122. So I don't know what year that is. Okay. Again, fasces in the middle again, wings open and a ship on the top. Wow, this is crazy. Whoa, look at these. So this is the faceless night configuration I was talking about. It's got a, let's mag up on this baby. This is crazy. It's got a monkey, a club, the Phoenician garlands. Wow. But no one is in there. No one is at home in the faceless night suits because they got turned to dust with the fascist technologies, no doubt. Wow, what is that for? It's crazy. Look at that. So these Phoenician faces are awfully creepy. You see them everywhere, don't you? All the buildings, railway stations. This one's got a bit of onyx or maybe, I don't know, a black stone in the middle. So definitely think there's clues with the shields to advanced tech, especially when the Gorgon comes into the Medusa technology, which we've been talking about for years now. Faceless Night, Noah's Ark in the informational portal, all connected. How many times do you see the faceless night in this reality, especially me? Anyway, let's move on. Ooh, that one's weird. It's got a plasma burst behind it. It's got a flag. I can do stuff to interact with ether too. And shield. But plasma behind it, making it glow. Double fasces crossed and the faceless night in the middle. As you get on the side of buildings. And this is from a Roman shield. As you can see, it is, well, essentially 2 fasces and 4 angels technologies, and it's plasma burst coming off it, lightning. So look at that one again, excuse me. 2 unicorns. I seen a unicorn the other day on a shield, and it had mermaidy bottom on it. Half mermaids, half oh, I don't like these stirrups, but this may be a clue that there was more going on with them. I talked about these a couple of weeks ago, I think, and the fact that they put them into horses to make them go faster is really upsetting. I can't believe they're doing that. So let's steal the antiquity after the flood, because there's a lot of water around there. The Phoenicians have come in. Wow. Yeah, I don't like them. Okay. So Gorgon on a shield again. This one's got serpents coming out of its eyes. So, yeah, you wouldn't want to get a shield like that dented. Again, with this grill that you see on the knights as well. So the faceless knight, or it's a grill. Yeah, you wouldn't wear one of them on them. There's the grills. And these tiny little slits, you wouldn't live 2 minutes on the battlefield. And all of this stuff on top. Really, they wore them. Sitting ducks, mate. You can see you from a mile away. You've got this thing on the top of your head. Haven't you heard of camouflage? This guy has got 1, 2, 3, 4 shields on a faceless nice configuration. 4 shields. And they carry him around as well in the classical times. You see it all the time. Could this be the worms again? They look like the worms. In the armor. Maybe that's why the faceless knight has no armor, because there's a worm. So that's a bazooka, basically. Crazy, you know. Ah, a turtle ship. Anyway, let's move on. Let's be going through this forever. Otherwise, this one's got a flame on it. And that one's getting him in the chest, but this one's definitely got a flame on it. And he's upside down, but he's got a fasces. Eagle, wings open. You never see him with their wings closed, that's for sure. Again, with the Gorgon on that shield. But this one looks a little bit like the Statue of Liberty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Of course there is. Statue of Liberty's got 7, though, I think. And all of these things, tech. Bows and arrows are all good and well. That's the bells inside of a drum. Bang that drum and the bells go ding, ding, ding. Lovely. Anyway, let's move on. So, yeah, like I said, medieval battlefield, stupid, isn't it? It just makes no sense. Look at this guy. He stands out like a sore thumb. He's leader. Charge! Unless, with him and his groovy horse, all in gold, yeah, that he's got full protection, like a sort of force field around them both. And then you just, rather than stabby, it's doof, 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 like that. Sunbeams. So I looked into the chivalric way of life, and again, that makes no sense. It's like a rite of passage. Is to take this woman out, I have to go off, kill a dragon, kill the Black Knight, go on a almost lethal quest, come back, and then she's up in the tower, and I have to get her out of there. Then it's all very, very, why did I bother in the first place? I should have stayed home. Anyway, so illustrated key to the tower, the Knights of the Pentacle. There's another knight's house, and in this one's carrying a pentagram. Knight of the Pentacles, the pentagrams. So they say all sorts of stuff about the Knights Templar, don't they? That they were some sort of very close band of brothers. But the Crusades are definitely ongoing right now. I'd see these helmets with the earpieces. You see them all over antiquity, these earpieces. And they got a thing about putting these, whatever they are. And look, is there any need for it? It's like, charge them, charge. Okay, stab them in a bumhole. What? Yeah, stab them all in a bumhole and shoot them in a day. What? It just makes no sense, guys. Use the Black Knight. Terrible attitude. Look at him. He's got a fish on his shield. And he's got massive FEFAs. That's what I mean. It's like, brick 'em. I fight in your general direction. But they've tunneled using a spade. No, it's not. It's a hard shields. But tunneling is a good strategy under castles. Just undermine them. So, on the medieval battlefield, it rains a lot. Do you think the armor being made out of metal would be affected by said water? Yeah, possibly. Maybe get even a bit rusty, wouldn't you, unless it was stainless steel? Heat. What if you was to do the campaigning season and it was stinking hot? It's like 42 degrees today out on the battlefield, sire. Do we have to wear the armor? I'm afraid so, or you're just going to get fried by the electromagnetic radiation. And this guy is like, my God, this is hell. But he's designed an umbrella. Unless the umbrella itself is tech. Do you ever think about these things before? No, I know. So if you get your armor really, really shiny, okay, but look, what has he got in his arm exactly? What is that? And what is that? These are not standard weapons, are they? You don't even know what they are. They're that unstandard. It's not a sword. It's not a dagger. It's something else. Anyway, shiny, sun, can't see. It's good strategy. That could work in a modern day. I don't know what's happening, but they got these earpieces on again to give them instructions on the battlefield. So I'm thinking that these are giants taking on an army of little people along those lines, which is what it's showing. What's happening? I do not know. This is a museum in Lisbon, in Portugal. And it's full of knights, and I can't help thinking that it's just predictive programming, and they just like fill these museums. So you're like, oh, imagine running around well, you wouldn't run around anywhere, would you? On the medieval battlefields in a knight's armor, you'd be so stuffed. Oh, I care for her so much. Let's help her. Oh, no, that didn't help, did it? This is what happens when you try to help knights. I know. Yeah, so I can understand Like, this is my point exactly, guys. On the medieval battlefield, you can't see anything going on. As you can see, he's got no eyes. He can't see anything. They can't see anything. He definitely cannot see anything. It's again with that spear thing going on. You may wonder what it's all about. He's even looking over going, that's a bit weird. Hope he doesn't do that to me. So I stick him in a bubble. That's right, boys. Yeah, keep it one another. Is it tickling? Yeah. Is it going through? No. Well, no, it won't go through because it's thick steel, you see. We'll keep doing it. Well, it's never going to work. We're going to be here forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I know. That's what happened to the last two. See him on the floor? Doesn't work, does it? The Last Crusade. Well, we're in the Crusades now, obviously, but it's the like pussy Crusades. It's really rubbish. This crusade didn't actually get anywhere because the donkey packed it all in for a pack of chips. Did you read about that in the history books? No. No, you never. You have to come to Flat Earth British to find out the real history. Charge! This is what it's at, right? Taking on superior forces like the 300, right? If you're Henry, right, at Agincourt, it's like, boys, yeah, there's only a few of us. It don't matter if there's 10 times more of them. We'll fuck them up, yeah? And they're like, yeah, bro, let's do it. That's what you need. Crazy attitude. Look at these knights. It's like, we'll batter them all. And they do. They batter them all. They're like, these guys are just nuts. The Black Knight is a bit of a nutcase, though. If you're going to take him out, he's not going to be upset if you chop his leg off. He's just going to like, I'm invincible. He doesn't know when he's taken. It's just ridiculous. This is what you've got to deal with when you're a knight in armor. It's only a flesh wound. And you know what I like about this knight? He doesn't let things get him down. Even when he's had his arms and his legs chopped off and he's just a torso and a head on the floor, he threatens to bite your ankles. Never gives up. Warriors. So the attitude. I did it. I went out. I killed a dragon for you. And now I'm going to get knighted. So I think even knighting is the, you kneel down. And the king or the queen or wherever. This is a nice queen, actually. I like these ginger queens. They touch you on either side of the shoulder, and that makes you a knight of the realm. Now, how does that even work? Unless there was something special going on with the sword back in the day, which I think it was. This guy looks like he belongs on the trenches of the First World War. Look at the tash on him. But he's going out because it's campaigning season. And he's too brave to spare the women and children. He would just kill everybody like this. That's what they tell you is going on. This cartoon makes it real. But the weapons in the museums and all of the examples do not make it real. The faces on the shields again, look. Makes no sense. Would you really wear armor of the shape of an animal or something? It just makes no sense. The whole siege tower, the whole trebuchet, the whole battle elephant. It's all Hollywood, I think. Stop. You have to keep arguing. This is what happens, right, guys? You had duels. So if you're arguing over a woman, you got to fight to the death for her. And then find out she's a bit, you shouldn't have bothered. She was a bit nuts. Got to be careful. That's how it's half buried in mud. So knights, they go roaming the countryside. Hang on, with their steeds, their friends, their wards. So hang on a minute, gentlemen. There's a lovely, beautiful lady here. Let me just go and chat her up down by the water. Oh, you're very beautiful, aren't you? Yes. I'm sorry, I'm busy looking at my reflection in the water. Yes, I can imagine. Just makes no sense. This picture is silly. It's all silly. Okay, let's see if that spear went in. Yeah, it went right through the steel and the armor. What's all these bits? So they can pick them up with a crane to get them on the horse. They left the literal things on. They can pick them up. They literally invented hoists to get people on horses. And then if you fall off, you're dead. So the queen and all his girls, how many women you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The king's got 10 women. Whatever. And they're having a joust. So very silly. So the half crescent moon. So I think it's the Christians fighting the non-Christians. Would you wear this on the battlefield? I think it goes down well in the modern day, wouldn't it? Look at these little spikes. Ooh, yeah, nice. Nice for a little back kick. All right. We wouldn't be able to do that much, would you? Maybe kick people in the shins, but what would you do with them? Let me know in comments. What would you do with heel spikes? Go into detail. Yeah, that's just stupid, isn't it? And it's a skirt. Why would it be a skirt? Oh, that's better. Yeah, I'd go in like that. Whoa, look at that horse, guys. Do you think it's happy? Of course it's happy. And he's got like a collection of advanced lance tech. And he's chose himself a real whopper here. Because they make no sense, right? They're not balanced. You've got to grab the handle, put the other bit under your arm, and then charge in. Yeah, it's just, they're just... If you think that they are melee weapons, they make no sense. Look at these. They look like the Immortals of the 300 movie with that stupid armor. You can't see absolutely anything. Both sides are infinitely stupid. Look at this, though, that head, right? Would you wear that on the medieval battlefield? I would for a laugh, but you'd hurt your neck, wouldn't you? So I think that's it for the day. I'm going to be back in a day or so. This is a good catch-up. Let me know what you think in comments about it all. I think the really good clue in this video is the thunder staff and weapons that can be as powerful as 100 muskets on the medieval battlefield. Let me know what you think in comments. I will be back very soon. And here I am. So yeah, quick video today. It's very, very windy outside, but the sun is shining. Makes you want to move your dancing feet. I'll see you on the next one. Stay epic. Much love to you all.